Welcome to Where Is My Mind, a podcast where we discuss fascinating films while trying to meet imaginary deadlines set by the boundaries of our imagination. I'm a pickled cat hyped up on Ozempic. Parker, what are you?
I'm Colonel Mustard in the 1985 film Clue, and you are not, Ryan.
Unfortunately not. That's Tim Curry. And today we're talking about not a rite of passage, but a fun little challenge that our little cult film community likes to do called Junesploitation. If you are not familiar with it, it is a challenge started about 11 years ago, I think, by the blog FThisMovie. And basically, they give you a prompt for each day of June, and you can follow for you to follow along. They're pretty loose on like how you can do it. Like they say on their website that like if you don't like shitty shark movies, you can literally just go watch like Free Willy, you know. So they're pretty forgiving. Our like little Discord communities that we're involved in, we always share letterbox list and our picks for the days and whatnot. So it's just a little community gig that we like doing. This is my first year doing the challenge. I did Horror Gives Back, host of Bounce on Horrors uh last year. So this is kind of like my second film challenge. I didn't do any rewatches, which you're gonna hear some of my picks and be like, "You're watching this for the first time?" And my answer is yes. Yes, I am.
Well, and you picked really some amazing films. I
I
picked
did.
some
I
lesser
had a good month.
films that don't.
I had a good month. I don't know what you're doing.
I think it was about 60-40. There were some really nice discoveries. There were also, yeah, films with Jack Wagner. Um,
Did you force yourself to like have like under like every film to be under 1,000 on Letterboxd?
I think that's how it turned out.
Okay, like
Yeah,
intentionally, because
uh,
I know we had like a couple of overlap, but nothing like we me and you know what those overlap are, I think.
yeah.
But it's like it's nothing crazy. Yeah,
No, it
mine.
it was really trying to just find some stuff that was I knew was gonna be challenging, and it's like a diamond in the rough sort of scenario, really, where you
It
just have to
totally can
watch
be.
stuff that is way outside your general comfort zone. Yeah, and there are things that we'll go over that are really, great finds, um, as well, or directors that you get turned on to and then
Yes.
go, "Okay, this is a portal for their other movies."
Hmm.
So
The other thing I think I should note about this year is this a lot of the categories this year were Roger Corman tributes. So mainly companies he owned, which I don't think they've done in the past, but because of his passing earlier this year, they had a couple of categories devoted to him.
yeah.
And there's always free space.
Yeah,
So
well,
if
with
you
the
want to like just
Corman stuff, it was like even like Corman distribution related stuff. I think
yeah,
I kind of shoehorned one British film in just for that reason of
you
like, well,
did.
we can go to Wikipedia and so forth and go, okay, well, this is associated
Go on
with this
Letterboxd, I had to look
company.
it up. Yeah. Upsetting. For the first category, it's just Roger Corman. So something he produced, something he directed, any sort of thing. I was basic and picked The Slumber Party Massacre from 1982. This was really good. I was really upset when a local film club showed it and I wasn't able to. I didn't hear about it until after the fact. They came to my university and I was like, oh shit. But this was like shockingly very poignant because like you hear a title like that, you don't expect much, right? But I mean, besides being exactly what it is says on the tin, it's like helps that it never feels gratuitous. And it's like it's very quick and it's good vibes. Good vibes. I like this. It
And
was a very good start to the month.
And in 1982, like, there's a lot of competition. I mean, it's a sweet spot of, like,
Yes.
78 to 84 or so, some of the
Yeah,
best slasher
definitely.
films.
Yes.
So, it's one that deserves more love than sometimes it might get because it gets overshadowed by a little bit more mainstream
Mhm,
huge
definitely.
titles, but it's a damn good film. It's so
It
much
is.
fun. It's a
And
bit
it's woman
timeless.
directed. It's woman directed, and it's 77 minutes. It's not long.
Nope.
It's not long, and it's really quick. I was, like, I, like, thought, "Oh, okay, it's gonna be, hour and a half." But, like, I looked and I was like, "Oh, shit." It was fun. It was fun, and I'm happy I finally got it out of the way. I know I need to watch the sequel now. Like, the one of the second one at least, where
Yeah, definitely.
that the musical,
Is
from
there a
what I can gather.
is there a musical component to it?
There is. I
Ah,
think, like, okay, so you know how
fun.
this one just has, like, the drill, right?
Yeah.
I think the second one just has, like, a rock and roll serial killer, and the drill is on the end of a guitar, from what I could see.
Oh, wow.
You didn't
That's
expect that.
no,
Oh,
no. I might watch just for
well, that
that.
looks
It's
like
been
fun.
that I'm familiar with the original, but the follow-up, why not?
Well,
Sounds
there's 4
entertaining.
of them. There's 4 of them, but, like, I think the first 2 are Corman produced.
It's a shame that she didn't direct more things.
Right?
Amy Holden Jones. You would have thought this is just such
Would've been a
a
breakout.
big breakout opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's kind of a shame. So, what did you pick?
For Corman tribute, I picked "Play Murder for Me" from 1990, directed by Hector Oliveira, and it stars Jack Wagner and Tracy Scoggins. Jack Wagner's mostly known through his, I mean, I guess through his film acting, but really
I guess.
more so from soap operas in the US.
Oh.
So that's really his
Oh.
that was his big niche thing, and he was sort of a quasi Don Johnson. And I actually own like a Jack Wagner record, which it's awful music. I mean, I kind of enjoy it because it's that, adult oriented rock schlocky garbage that's, as you'd say, it's not good. It's not. But the movie, Play
Don't
Murder
rope
for
me into
Me,
this.
it's like a noir thriller. It's super mundane. It's like the plot is more or less like a murder plot, um, from Tracy
Really?
Scoggins' character, which she's a sax player, and this is a movie that would fit with like Showtime Cinemax late night. She's interesting. Jack Wagner's fine, but the movie went about as well as Jack Wagner's musical career, so I gave it 1 star. 1 star.
You Oh god. Even throughout your quote unquote "bad picks," you're still gonna manage to be positive, aren't you?
It does
You
have
can be mad, you can
it
be angry. I'm gonna get angry. I know I'm going to get angry.
it. Hey, how about zombies? That's our
Yeah,
next.
zombie.
What do you got?
Immediately going from a really good pick to a not great pick. Redneck Zombies from
Oh, you
1989.
did that.
I did do it.
You put you there.
I had fun. I
Yeah.
had fun, but it sucked. It Is it so bad it's good? I feel appropriated.
I mean, I
Like,
hope they had fun making it.
it looks like they had fun making it.
Yeah.
It looks like, because it's shot on video, right? It's like an early trauma. It looks fun and whatever, but, like, holy shit. I'm filing for cultural, appropriation. We do not act like this. Even in the fucking boonies, we don't act like this. We don't just have green moonshine around. We're not dumb, okay? Sorry. It's fine. I always joke that, like, when I graduate, I'm just gonna have, like, a bunch of shitty movies playing. So this would be one of the, like, without volume, just on a TV all night, and this would probably be one of them. Just have it going.
Yeah, with music over the top, I think
Yeah, no
it's
no no
great.
no volume. You don't have, like, the it'd just be funny as fuck to look at. The one thing I did notice with this is I couldn't tell if it knew it was bad, like, if it was self-aware. Sometimes, like, with shot on video, it's really hard to tell. The other kind of shitty, but kind of funny shot on video I like is Satan Place.
I haven't seen that.
It's a
I
soap
don't think
opera
so.
from hell. You know it?
I don't
I
think
think you
so.
showed me that.
Well, it's
Okay,
possible.
we'll talk.
Yeah, we'll confer.
Um, it's like I feel like that movie though is self-aware-ish and kind of how stupid it is. And I don't this one doesn't because like the protagonist, the Yankee feels like a slur down here. But like the it does. No, seriously. No, seriously. I'm not kidding. I can't say that term around my parents, okay? The protag like the people that are like just fucking hiking or whatever down there, like they're so like dumb. I can't tell what's going on and it's not good, but if you need something stupid as shit, I say watch it. So, did you make a better choice?
I was gonna mention I like the director's name for Redneck Zombies.
What is
I'm
it?
not
Is
sure
it
I can
what?
pronounce it correctly, but
God damn it.
and if you do it in this like a southern accent, it's even more strange. But that's its own.
I need to look at this. I don't like what rabbit hole you're leading me down. You know that, right? I don't appreciate it when
Yeah, I
I'm
don't.
gonna find I'm going to find this. I hate it. Pericles Loons? Lewnes?
Yep.
I can't say
I think it explains a lot.
it's out. No, it's just like a fake name.
All right. So for zombies, I went
What did
with
you
A
do?
Virgin Among the Living Dead by Jess
Oh,
Franco
yeah. Okay.
because I couldn't do Junesploitation without Uncle Jess. So
I did.
it,
So that's on you.
somehow I was going to shoehorn him in because he has a lot of films. And the gist of it was that I'm trying to rationalize buying the two Stephen Thrower books, which are really expensive coffee table
Wait,
biographies.
he
And
wrote two books on Jess Franco.
yeah, and they're as big as Nightmare USA. They'll stop, bullets. So yeah, there's two of
What
them.
the
Oh
fuck?
yeah, they're huge.
You
And
can't.
and I'm gonna have to pay scalper prices for one of them because it's out of print. So the second volume is still in print. The first one is not, and so it's gonna be like $200 or $300 for an $80 book. Uh,
Okay. So
which
how was the movie?
it was very good. I enjoyed it. It's got Howard Vernon, Paul Muller, who I
Okay, good.
love both of them a ton. And yeah, I had a great time with this movie, and it's getting me
Okay,
closer to
good.
the 51% of Franco's films. Because if I hit 51% of viewing his films, then I'm going to buy the books, but not until then. So this,
Where are you? Well, then where are you?
I think I'm like I'm
49?
in the probably 40s roughly.
Okay.
So this movie though,
Both me and you know what it's like to be a completionist for someone's work. Okay.
oh yeah,
Both me.
well, I don't fuck
But
around.
I'm at
Oh,
maybe at like 20%. I'm maybe at 20% of Udo Kier.
that's not bad.
That's
He's got a lot. He's got a bulk of work that's
hurt me. Yeah,
yeah,
I know.
totally. Franco, I think,
And
directed
yeah,
like
before anyone asks, yeah,
250.
he appeared like 3 times this month for me, so don't even ask
Damn,
questions.
that's a surprise actually.
No, it's not.
Well, I thought it would be
You find out
more.
what I watched.
I was
No,
like,
it's
that's
not.
kind of low. I would have
It's
actually
low for
for
me.
you, it's
You could
low.
I think
Yeah.
you could no, maybe not for the Corman stuff, but, like, you could do, like, a lot of these categories with him.
hmm
So, anyways.
Well, for
Alright.
Francophiles or people that are new to Jess Franco, Virgin Among the Living Dead it's a great like entry point for a lot of his films. Like his cinematography is really good. Um, it's just we don't get Lena Romay, who is his significant other, and she's in most of his, not most, but many of his films. There's a little bit of a letdown there for Franco fans, but yeah, I mean, dead people start
Okay.
coming up and raising hell. You've got like Etta Del Orso, like high vocals within the music, which is really really cool stuff. I mean, it's generally a mansion type movie, but yeah, for Jess, I mean, for his standard, it's like generally speaking like the typical nudity that you expect with his
Right.
films because that's just like part of his thing.
That's the
uh,
thing.
and then there's like a lot of like leering weirdos, and there's like enough horror and suspense to kind of keep you going. and engaged the whole time.
Okay.
The big critique with this film is the zoom shots are absolutely egregious. I think there's roughly about it's like 70 to 100 zooms, and it's like somebody just discovered a part of their body, perhaps, and it just never
What the
stops. Yeah, and you're like, God damn it, please
go away.
stop
That
this.
that's like
The
that sounds
train.
like when I discover a vocal tick or like another thing I can do with my voice. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do this, and it's just gonna piss off everyone around me.
Yeah. And
Sound
so
good?
and I mean, if you're not aware, like you really quickly as a viewer, you're thinking this is definitely not gonna end. It's gonna be the whole goddamn movie, basically, which it is. But you just start to like look forward to it. So you're going, hey, every 47 seconds, that camera better zoom in on some random object, even if it's a table. And
Or a woman's ass.
yep, it could be anything. And
Very well could be that because he was good at those.
yeah,
He was good
he
at those
does.
as
Yeah,
well.
it's true. You know, it's when you're in the land of Franco, anything's
Yeah,
possible,
anything's possible. With
right?
anything's possible. Day 3 was revenge. I picked such a shitty pick. This was one of my worst picks of the month. Easily. It's 100 Tears from 2007. This is not good. The whole reason I found out about this is like it's one of the few films with an NC-17 rating that isn't that like got that rating purely because of its violence. Let me tell you, it delivers on the gore. It's good gore. Like and there's a lot of it. Everything else sucked. The plot I think is interesting of like two reporters who are trying to figure out like this case of like this runaway clown slash like serial killer, and like they don't realize that like he's like really close, but like by the end you're so fucking sick of these people talking. It really begins to fall apart. My trained ass or whatever began to notice like one, there are original songs in this and it's bad, it's not good.
Oh my.
It's so bad. Most of the soundtrack is that one note synth pedals and stock music stings that you can probably edit in about now because I guarantee you I'll be able to find the sound effect. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. And they use it multiple times towards the end and it's just like, please stop. So like, yeah, by the end of it, I was just like, get it going.
I mean, the
It
director
wasn't
also did like Bloodshot,
good. Did
which is
he?
one that I've seen, and then Bad Blood, which I think
Huh.
it's kind of in the same
Okay.
vein of stuff.
He's the like one of the main there's like two lead actors and he's one of them. He like doesn't do a good he's not a good actor. Does not do a good job. His female counterpart is fine. Because the dialogue is horrible. It just no. It doesn't land. How did you do?
Well, I ended up picking The Violent Four from 1968,
Oh.
which is directed by Carlo Lazzani, and it stars John Maria Volante, who I think a lot of folks are probably pretty familiar with him, but I know I wasn't until a couple years ago and discovered his acting and was like, I'll watch this guy in anything. He has like a almost like a Christopher Walken, Michael Caine sort of indulgence of oh, I know what I'm getting into here with almost
Famous
any
last
plot.
words.
Yeah, he's just
I'm like, I know what I'm getting into. No, you don't.
it went pretty good. I was surprised. Like Ray Lovelock is in it, and he sort of boosts any sort of cast. I mean, the plot's like it's simple. It's a manhunt for bank robbers. This is not.
Yeah.
It's not really a big. I don't know. There wasn't any like not a huge amount of depth here, but the acting is above average. So I mean, because the writing is loose and it felt a little longer than it should, it's like you have John Maria, and John Maria is fantastic in every scene. So it was a YouTube find actually, and yeah,
Oh,
had
good.
a great time with that. Also called Banditi a Milano.
Moving on. Sorry, I had to curve that. I don't want to talk about
free
it. It's not good.
free space, and you didn't pick
Yay, free
that.
space. I picked Salon Kitty from 1976,
Absolutely, Tinto Brass.
which fucking slaps because the only Tinto Brass I've seen is the beautiful, perfect, amazing Caligula because of course that is the only thing we've all seen from Tinto Brass, right? No.
No, I can't say
Ugh!
that.
I know, it's hard to detect. I know, sarcasm. But no, this is much better.
Oh,
This is
you've
much
got
better. I
helmet.
liked Caligula. I had fun with it. Aside from the runtime, the fact that it took itself way too seriously, the Dedicants and the at the minimum 5 orgy scenes.
And not enough Helen
This was
Mirren,
much
frankly. Helen
well.
did not have enough.
Helen had the best casting because she didn't have to fist people. Malcolm. Yeah, Salon Kitty. I liked it a lot better. It's yet another taste of Nazi exploitation because all my friends think I'm a Nazi.
And you're not. You're the furthest thing
I'm
from
not.
it.
I let's just go ahead and like clear the air. No, I'm not. Can I just say can we go for app this is one of those movies that like once you get past like the crazy first 15 minutes of just softcore on softcore on softcore. Once you get past those, it's pretty good. It's like just it's all atmosphere of like this, very power hungry, Nazi general spying on a brothel, and like one of the girls figures out the plot and like tells the brothel owner Kitty. It just gets interesting. Helmut Berger's hot as fuck in this movie, and I hate it.
Yeah, wait, between him and
You didn't think I'd say that.
well, now was this your
So
first
bad.
Helmut Berger film?
I think so. I think okay. Letterbox says he's in 120 Days of Bottrop, but I don't think so. I doubt it.
Yeah, I think that was like
Probably as a
real
parody.
brief.
As a parody, but not as like a not him. This is the first real like actual movie I've seen
He's
of
so
him.
good, and he's so hateable in a lot of roles. Is like
He
that
is.
he does that perfect nefarious bastard. It's a mixture of like looks and bad guy vibes that definitely helps
Whoever
out.
whoever the dubbing actor was for him in this did a really good job. So, and of course, you get Tinto Brass's very besides getting very good shots of people's private parts, he's very good at things like mirror shots and whatnot. And so it's very entertaining. So if you're gonna look for Nazi exploitation of 2 hours to spare, go watch this because this is one of my top picks.
Yeah, definitely. I would say of of that genre in the top 5, top 10 kind
Oh,
of.
what did you pick?
Oh, for my free space, I did a movie called Shamlos from 1968, directed by Eddie Saller. And this is like babyface, your Udo Kier. He's
Yep,
like 20 or
I've watched
something.
24, I
Okay.
think. I watched this later in the month, so I don't know when we want to talk about it, but he's very big favorite of mine.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. It was good fun. It was hard to track down. That was the biggest problem with trying
Oh,
to
yeah.
find this movie. It was a giant pain in the ass.
You're
But
welcome.
yeah, it's like I watched it as like a late night
Yeah,
fever dream. Had a had a great time with it.
yeah.
It's not too special, and the plot carries you right along. Um, yeah, I mean Udo makes everything better. That's just science, really. Um,
Well known.
in the movie, like I think there's parts of it. Some folks have seen A Degree of Murder with Anita Pallenberg, and I think this
Huh.
film had sort of similarities to that. But yeah, it's like procedural. The father's trying to find the killer of his daughter that's wrapped up in prostitution. Let's go. It's like
Always works
it's
out
all you
well.
need.
It always works out well. So yeah, I guess I'll share my opinions on it when we get to it later in the month.
Sounds good.
So next category, 90s action. I did hit it another Udo pick. Johnny Mnemonic from 1995. Coincidentally, his second movie with Keanu Reeves because I also love him. Um, this is also it's dumb as fuck. It's fine. It's fine. I don't care. It's like Keanu Reeves and is like a data courier where he gets like chips in his head, data chips in his brain to like deliver them, and like he ends up getting a package that's too big, and like his head's gonna fucking explode within like 24 hours or some shit. he needs to find a way to get it out. And it's like it takes place in 2021, which is wild, given it does deal with a worldwide virus. This came out in 1995, I should add. Keanu, for all I love him in My Own Private Idaho, he doesn't do a great job here. Like, kind of a lot of overacting and just a lot of yelling. But it's fine. It's totally watchable. Ice Cube's in it.
That's
Dina
fun.
Meyer's in it. Yeah, Udo Kier's in new age makeup.
Well, wouldn't hate
Gets his
that.
arm cut off. Yeah, the Yakuza's there. It's fine. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I'm mad at my
What did you?
pick. It's called Gun
Okay.
Blast, and it's 1986.
Good.
It's a
It's
Nick
fine.
Millard. Nick Millard films are sometimes great fun, like Criminally Insane, Cemetery Sisters, and Death Nurse. I enjoy all those. Um,
Yeah.
and I
What
even like
happened?
prepped for this movie by watching a movie called 357 Magnum, and I had a great time with that. It's a lot of dad jokes and bad dialogue. But this is a 1-star, completely forgettable film that you shouldn't really even bother. There's no reason. If you want the plot, it's lady hires the hitman to knock off the ex, falls for the hitman. Yeah, I wrote down this film's akin to meeting somebody with their pants on backwards, and then they carry on the conversation, putting their hands into the back pockets,
I
in the
hate it.
front of their pants, and they're acting like nothing's wrong. But you know what? Everything's wrong.
What the
1
fuck?
star. Moving on. You're welcome.
Guys, that's the meanest I've seen him.
Yet. Oh, we still have about 25 more films to go. So
I
we're
know.
gonna
I know.
Paul Naschy. Paul
Paul
Naschy.
Nash.
What did you pick for
Paul
Paul?
Nash. I did Night of the Werewolf because an old friend recommended it, and it's fine. I was kind of in and out of this one. It's not like it's fine. It, I just kind of I don't remember much of it. I just remember saying it's not for me at this moment. But I didn't hate it. There were lady vampires in like the last half of the movie, so that kind of bumped up my rating and made it a bit better.
Nice.
But I know it's a period. I remember it's a period piece. So
It's one of
this is
Paul's
like
I
in the
haven't
part of the month
seen.
where like what?
I've never seen it. It's one of
Okay,
the
it's fine.
Naschy.
It's not like anything special, but there's worse. Like I can
Okay.
see how it would go over well at like a midnight movie screening with the right crowd. You know,
Well, and like
it's one
the
of those.
Elizabeth Bathory stuff is
Yeah,
fun. It's fun enough.
yeah. It's fine. Yeah, the werewolf looked cool. You know, because it does somewhat deliver on the title. So I didn't
Nice.
hate it. What did you pick?
I went with Death of a Hoodlum, which was directed by Leon Klimovsky. And this is a 3.5 star. It's almost a 4-star film,
Okay,
but it's
for
not
change.
that amazing. But yeah, complete opposite from the previous film. And
Wow. Okay.
yeah, and Klimovsky, like all of his films, in general, I think he's like a pretty classy guy. He did Trauma and Werewolf versus the Vampire Woman, and A Dragonfly for Each Corpse. And you just got Paul going crazy, whacking dudes out left and right with like wearing a lot of brown leather and sunglasses with black gloves, being mean.
Oh, that's just me.
So yeah,
That's just me.
I, I
Have you met me? That's just me.
I was like, he's got middle-aged math teacher energy that's
Okay,
flanked
that's not
by
me.
like he has like wayfish cohorts to like carry out all of
Oh
his
my god.
biddings. So it's 80 minutes of sweaty charisma and odd instrumental music. So I don't know. I thought it was mid 70s Euro cult goodness. I had a really
Okay.
fun time.
Okay, I'll keep a lookout for that thing.
Yeah.
The title's a bit like off-putting.
Yeah, well, it also is referred to as Muerte de un Kinky. So
God damn
you
it.
know, when I now
How is it spelled?
that
How is it
oh, you
spelled?
know how it's spelled. Quinqui.
Is it Spanish or French? Because mine was a
It's
French.
it's Spanish.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Okay, but now I know what that translates to,
Also,
I
Paul
think.
Naschy looks like John Belushi with the little chocolate donuts. So if you associate that or ever see, old clips,
What?
yeah, little chocolate donuts. You'll never see Paul Naschy the same when you equate the two two people. But that's just a me thing.
Cut. No.
it's it's a Saturday Night Live skit, so that's the
I have to be at work in 3 hours.
exactly.
I can't do this.
Next up, Buddy Cops.
Next is Buddy Cop. I watched my first Jared Deodato film because I've never seen Cannibal Holocaust or The House on the Edge of the Park
That's okay.
because I'm sane and want to save my virginity. I watched Live Like a Cop, Die Like a Man,
Absolutely.
which was also something I don't remember much of, but I do remember it was pretty brutal sometimes. And like those two main characters, those two, buddy cops, not good guys, kind of not cool. Uh Pretty violent. I think they fuck up a dog towards the beginning of the movie, and like when that happened, I was like, "Okay, that's not good. That's not nice." But I got kind of invested towards the end, and I think the ending, like, finale is just it's very fun. The last shot, spoiler alert, the last shot is them blowing up a mini boat, and that made me smile.
That's good fun.
So, it's good
Yeah.
fun. If you blow up anything mini, I'm down.
That cast is
So, it was fine.
insane.
I'm happy because like, I know last year they had Polizia Techie as one of their categories, I think. So I guess this is maybe a replacement for that.
Yeah.
I guess this could technically count as that.
The cast in this movie is just like a greatest hits. It's like
Yeah.
especially with
Yeah.
Mark Perel, who didn't have a huge amount of films because he died young, but that guy is just a
Mhm.
I'll watch absolutely anything he's ever done. He's a really neat guy. And Ray Lovelock, he's another kind of
Yes.
staple.
What did you watch?
So for Buddy Cops, I watched With Clean Hands from 1972, directed by, I want to say, Sergiu Niculescu. So it's Romanian Eurocrime buddy cop, and the the main person in the film is a referred to as Commissar McLovin, and I'm not joking. It really is McLovin, spelled Miclovan. So the whole
Go
movie, you're
away.
trying not to do the
Go away.
McLovin pick. I didn't pick his name, Parker. I didn't choose
I know you
this.
didn't pick it. I know you didn't pick it, but you're complicit because you watched it.
That's reasonable.
And one of my eyes is tearing up because it's allergies.
So he's like by the book detective with Roman, who's his buddy, and Roman is basically a Dirty Harry ripoff, like former rugby player, gone absolutely insane. So it's just a giant shit show. The look is polished, the directing's not bad, pacing's great, available on
That's good.
YouTube. So go to the YouTube With Clean Hands, 1970.
YouTube is always a good guys. If you want to watch something, you can probably find it on YouTube
Hell
because they
yeah,
do have good things.
there is.
You would be shocked at the shit you can find on YouTube.
All
It's
right,
pretty
Parker, what
cool.
did you pick for
I was such a basic bitch for this. I picked the original Godzilla because I've never seen it before. It
Not Blown Away?
was good, but it wasn't fun.
No.
Because it is a serious, I mean, I know, kaiju is supposed to be fun. I was at my grandmother's house the other day watching, like, destroy all monsters. Okay, I get it. But, like, yeah, like, the original Godzilla, 4 years prior, pretty somber. It was good. I was happy to shoehorn this into Criterion because it's part of their collection. I don't know. Looking up stuff about nuclear weapons is like a weird guilty pleasure in my pastime, and like seeing like the effects of that, and coming from Japan, post World War II, very good. I don't want to rehash what's already been said about it though.
Okay.
So I'm happy to finally get it off my bucket list because it
Yeah.
was worth it. I mean, it's a good watch. I didn't want to watch. I'll be honest, I didn't want to watch something stupid as fuck and like not watch this. That felt rude. So, how
Well,
did you do?
I did really well. I picked I don't really care for most kaiju films. It's not my thing. But I
It's fine,
picked
yeah.
Daimajin from 1966, which is a Kimiyoshi Yasuda film. They did three, Return of Daimajin and Wrath of Daimajin. But this is the
Yeah?
first one, and
Mhm.
it's well crafted. There's like a social commentary component to the plot, and I think of it almost as like a perfect Sunday type film. It's like a Sunday afternoon
Okay.
experience. There's these oversized stone creatures, kind of golem-esque
Oh,
things that come to life by sort of like the an element of sort of the force of change in society to correct course and to make things better. So there's like a high degree of um, knocking and stomping out kind of tyrannical control and things like that. So it's a movie you really get into that you don't think is going to work, and it does, and then you're rooting for it the whole way through. So to me, I
good.
yeah, it's a 4-star film. There's three. Each of them deal with kind of different geographical locations. So yeah, I think sometimes they're referred to as, like the water Daimogen one and so forth. So they have different elements, but they're really
Yeah.
worth it. Arrow put out a set of these, as well
Oh,
as I think they're
shit.
on
Okay.
Arrow Player potentially also, and yeah, different dub
Hopefully.
tracks, etc. And kind of
Sweet.
fascinating, sort of a neat little rabbit hole of kaiju that uh, that's a little different than most. So yeah, had a great time with it.
Fine.
Hmm.
Yeah. No, maybe one day I will get into the rabbit hole of kaiju because it looks, as someone who hyper focused on dinosaurs when they were a child, this looks fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right, next is kung fu. This is a genre I'm not huge into. I did not expect my pick to be over 2 hours long, and I had to watch it in like 5 sittings. I watched Once Upon a Time in China with Jet Li. I can't tell you much about this, but it's a long historical epic, and it looks like a lot of people really like it. Um, it's not my thing. It's a well-made movie and whatnot. Um, I think my favorite part about these like action movies, because I had another like martial arts movie later in the month, um, is like when the camera allows like when the camera like focuses on like the people doing shit, and like you can see how their body has to move to like accomplish some of those moves, and like the athleticism. that sounds so that doesn't sound right, but I know what I'm talking about, you know? But I didn't mind this.
Nice. It's good.
If I'm gonna watch, I mean, if you know me, if I'm gonna watch Hong Kong, I'm gonna go for my gross, crazy category 3 stuff.
Yeah, and Choi Hart did so many films that are really
He
really
did.
diverse. So
Yes.
there is probably for every person a Hark film that is just
Yes.
perfect. This had
Yes.
Yuan Bao in it though too, which is really interesting. I've not seen this film, so I'm actually going to look into this one.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's not like not a bad movie by any means, just meh, not for me. So, what did you watch?
I chose Soul Brothers of Kung Fu from
I
1977, directed by Hua Shan,
remember you telling me
and it
about
was
this.
really fun. It doesn't take
Okay,
itself
good.
serious, and so
Okay, good.
it has that a degree of self awareness. The experience is a little more fun than it should be. I mean, it's all popcorn. There's not
Okay,
meat
good.
substance to this at all. It's not Godard.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a wonderful
No.
time, and again, martial arts kung fu films, not my go-to, but these are the rules, these are the
Mhm.
categories, so I was able to find something that I gave a real solid 3 stars. It's a bunch of pure chicanery and enjoyment, available on YouTube.
Chicanery.
There's a lot of bullshit chicanery going on, and
I
you're like,
love that
hey,
word. I learned that in 8th grade. I love that word. Sorry.
it fits.
It fits.
So there you go. It's on
Alright,
YouTube.
I'll have to look.
Check it out,
Okay,
peoples.
good. So shoot me a link if you
I
haven't,
shall.
because that shit looked fun.
It was. It was exactly as fun as it looked, and I.
Day 10. A lot of people's guilty pleasure coming up. Sharksploitation,
Ugh,
aka Shitty Shark Movie Day.
why is this necessary?
There are people who love ironically or unironically love shitty shark movies. It's fine. I watched Mississippi River Sharks,
I like the
which I'm
title.
pretty sure was 100% a sci-fi original. It was fine. I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would. So that's good. This director, Misty Talley, also did Santa Jaws, which is something I've kind of been wanting to watch, when the time comes. This is okay. There's a character in it that looked like my dad, who was playing like the main character's dad, and that just made me feel weird. It had all like the cheesy, the cheesy CGI sound effects. Sound effect? I quit. All the cheesy CGI stuff, with sharks going through people's bodies and whatnot. But it was, you can tell, like, there was effort put into it, and, like, people gave a fuck, So that's what, like, made it kind of watchable. There were times I was, like, trying not to fall asleep during it, so not the greatest thing ever, but, like, I suppose if you are forced at gunpoint to pick a sci-fi original movie past the early 2000s, this would probably be one of your better bets. So,
I'm surprised none of our friends have watched or rated this one.
Nathan from I Hope You
Did
Suffer
he check
gave
it
it a
out?
good rating.
The reviews are
Yeah,
really
he gave
mean
it.
about not his, but in general, they're pretty rough on this movie.
Yeah, it was fine.
Huh.
It was fine. He gave it like a 3.5. So he was like, but he's also seen a bunch of bullshit, really bad bullshit. So
Yeah, that's fair.
it was fine. And like Misty Talley, like a lot of people, I think Santa Jaws is kind of seen in like a similar light. I mean, as dare I say it, Velocipaster, just as kind of like some fun seasonal
That
bullshit.
is fun.
So yeah, I'll probably watch that when the time comes. It is July when we're recording this. I'm not watching Christmas shit in July. You can't make me.
We're pretty much close to spooky season at this point, so
Don't
just
remind
saying.
me. Do not remind me. Where I work, we already have Halloween stuff out, and
It brings the
I'm
day up.
like, dude,
It's probably
I'm a Halloween person. You can't do this. You can't do this to me.
so
I'm an
this
adult.
category about broke me. I'll be honest.
Oh boy.
I,
I'm listening.
I was very upset to see this listed, and I really am pretty open. I can tolerate a lot.
We
I
know.
went with Under Paris. It's a
You
2024.
tolerate me. We know you can tolerate a lot.
Correct, but
This is bad.
French shark films. Goddamn, this thing! It's a slog
Oh
with
no.
momentary
Oh
sharks,
no.
and it's a boring sleeper film. There's very few payoffs.
Okay.
Nobody really cares. It's just a lackluster effort on everyone except for perhaps a director. I logged it as watched. That's it doesn't deserve it doesn't deserve a star rating because this is an embarrassment. And they really it's a
Unfortunate.
moment in life you just take stock and evaluate decisions that you've made and move forward from. And I think that's probably the best thing I can say about this film.
The top rating, one of the top reviews for this says, "Not sure a movie has ever ended like that before." So, you know.
Yeah, it feels like
There's a
somebody
couple. I see a
making.
couple of people. I see a couple of people I know have given it. Like one person I know gave it like 3 stars. That's like the highest. Like, most people are giving it like around 2 stars. I like the concept. I think the concept sounds dumb as
It
fuck.
does. Yeah, it has a
But
lot it had a lot going for it, and I was optimistic, that it was just gonna be a whole hell of a lot better, and it wasn't,
okay,
and it's the director is laughing at me and the entire audience, for
I
the
hate that
theft
feeling when
time.
when they know what they're doing,
Yeah.
when, like, when the movie knows what it's doing and it's just I hate that feeling. That's how I felt watching Rubber, the one with the killer tire.
Mhm.
That's how I felt with that. I hate that. I hate that movie so
I mean,
much.
what's really bizarre, at least I thought, like, for Under Paris is, like, this director did Frontiers, he did the ABCs of Death, like, he has ability and agency to actually, to pull this off.
Shit, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, it's
God.
that's what really stings and hurts more is that they have been thoughtful and talented, and this is just insulting, and that's
God.
moving on. Italian horror,
Moving
moving
on to
on.
a much better category that we
Absolutely.
all love and
Yes, we
treasure.
do.
Italian horror. Okay. Okay, kids. I've watched Your Vice is a Locked Room and only I have the key.
The greatest titles
This
ever.
movie was so good that I forgot the incest was incest. This
It has everybody who's
is a perfect
anybody.
this is a perfect movie. Okay? It's like this it's just a it's a giallo. This counts as a giallo. No one's gonna like come to my house and shoot me if I say this is a
It
giallo, right?
absolutely is. This is core
Okay.
like,
I have to make sure.
no, this is core
I feel like
giallo.
I have to make sure.
Absolutely.
There is like some serious gatekeeping
There is,
going
yeah,
on
but this
in some of
is
our communities.
oh, sure. It's the
Like, I mean, yeah, are people dumb? Yes, but is gatekeeping eh, eh. Um, yeah, no. The Black Cat is an Edgar Allan Poe story I have become quite familiar with because of the amount of interpretations of it. Um, this is a psychosexual Italian retelling of said story because there is in fact a black cat in this, and it does not end well for the cat. Um, I mean, Edwidge is in this. She's amazing. She has the best eyeliner ever, doesn't she?
Fennec is top. She's the top, really. It's
Oh,
her,
Finneck.
Barbara Boucher. There's a handful of other, like, I could do top 25 Eurocult women easily,
Yes, you could.
but it's got Anita Strindberg as well, and she carries
She's wonderful.
yeah, they share
She's
the
amazing.
stage really, really well. So,
This is I didn't expect this movie to make me say good for her, you know, but it did, and I liked it. So this is probably one of my favorites, if not the favorite of the month. We're at
outstanding.
like day 11.
Yeah.
So how did you do?
Oh, I did fine. I chose
Be honest.
Yeah, I chose, Symphony in Blood Red. It's a 2010 Luigi Pastore movie. Um,
Yo, what?
yeah, this is I don't know. Claudio Simonetti is in it as, like, a small cameo. It's a movie on Tubi. This is all the reason to watch, really traditional, time-specific, 70s giallo. This is the neo-jolly cringe. There's better things to do with your time. You've been warned. It's on Tubi. That's all.
I've only seen one quote unquote Neo Gialli, and it's
Uh-huh.
The Editor.
Yeah.
And that was made out of love. And that
Wonderful
movie is
film.
made out of love as an homage to the
It
genre.
is. Yeah.
I guess it technically counts.
There's a handful that are really done, and I think
Yeah,
that's if they love the genre and everything about that, they're not gonna use it as a cheap, sellable, self-ironic sort of
yeah.
ploy. And there definitely are, films that are wonderful that way. And then there's just the really bad stuff that's passable. Symphony and Blood Red. Don't watch this movie. You've got better things to do.
I think this month broke you. Can I say it?
Uh,
Can I say it?
yeah, but there's weird things that It did. There were highs and lows. There wasn't a lot of like right in the middles. So it really was a
Okay. Yeah,
divisive
that's how
month.
mine was. There wasn't a lot of in the middle for me either.
Yep.
So, all right, next pick is another Corman owned distribution company, New World Pictures. This is my most basic pick by far. Hellraiser.
Hell yeah.
Perfect movie.
It is a perfect movie.
Perfect movie. Will not be elaborating further. I mean, am I supposed to say something about this that hasn't already been said?
I mean, as far as sequels go, Hellraiser 2 has moves and is quite enjoyable.
I know. I've been kind of, because I know there's like an endless abyss of Hellraiser sequels, and
Yeah.
not many of them are particularly good, but I know the second one.
It's really the first two have a
Okay.
lot of appreciation.
Because at least, like, yeah. So, this is perfect. Um, it's not often a movie makes me, when I'm getting ready for work, it's not often a movie makes me stop and go, holy shit, this is perfect. How did you do?
I chose a movie called Murder by Phone from 1982
God damn
by
it.
Michael Anderson. And it has Richard Chamberlain in it. And he's a notable, talented actor.
Yeah.
Um, and he does a really great job. One of my biggest hangups is uh, really peculiar mispronunciations. And there's a professor in one of the sequences that says Gnostic in reference to the Gnostics. Yeah,
No!
Gah. I spelled this out. Gnostic. And it's that kind of
It's,
bullshit that can make you hate a film really quick.
I am,
So that
no.
hurt.
I can't
That
say
hurt my
that.
my spirit.
That would hurt
Yeah,
anyone. That's horrible. I'm so sorry you had to go
it's
through
okay.
that.
The dialogue gets worse. It gets significantly worse. Yeah,
No!
yeah. So there's a lot of like talky, stilted conversations that would fit like in
Oh,
like the Leslie Nielsen Naked Gun series, but that's
oh,
actually
that's the
trying to be
worst.
comedic they're
That's
effective.
the worst.
But yeah,
When it
it's the
fails.
plots, it's simple bullshit that basically the
Yeah.
answering machine, the phone is killing people. It's still kind
Oh
of a good
no.
fun thing.
We've all seen A Nightmare on Elm Street. We know how this ends.
And this director, he directed The Dam Busters and Logan's Run. So those are high praise, high value films. And I don't know why this was made. I hope he bought a car or paid for college for one of his kids, maybe. But yeah, I mean, it still fits a 3-star protocol because it was fun enough. Like, but
You're
it's
like,
that
this is
it's that
horrible.
painful sort of fun that most people would
Mhm.
turn this off within 20 minutes. I'll tell you right now.
You know what we call that, Ryan?
Hate watches, I think, is that what they call them? Oh,
No, masochism.
you're right.
Like, that's what it
Yeah,
is.
with Richard Chamberlain
That's
and
masochism.
Gnostics. You're welcome.
Sweetheart, that's masochism. You can't just do that to yourself and expect you to be okay.
All right, Ozploitation. This is a good category.
This is
How did you do on
another.
this?
I was blessed to have several days of just straight
Oh my
bangers.
God, you chose Patrick.
I did. I chose
Oh
Patrick.
wow.
This was really good.
It is, yeah.
This was. I didn't. I went in fairly cold, as you do, but this was pretty good. I might be overreading it when I started thinking about like medical morals. I was like, maybe I might be overreading this, you know. But this was fucking great. God, Patrick's a creepy fuck, isn't
Yeah,
he?
he's a real weirdo.
He's not the focus of the
Uh-uh.
movie
That actor is
in
just
any
incredible
way.
at it
He is
though.
a creepy motherfucker.
It's the eyes.
Like,
The eyes are just
oh my god.
dark
Okay.
soul.
So it didn't hit me when I was watching it. When I was trying to like find an image to like kind of promote this, I like got totally creeped out seeing like some of the stock images of him in retrospect.
Hmm.
So I would love to rewatch this when my ex isn't texting me and write about it. You
Yeah.
know, this is really good.
Pat
This is really
and now you
good.
have Patrick Still Lives to look forward to, which is
I
which
do.
is that's a piece of
That's a
wonderful work there, and it's
oh
dark and
yes.
strange, and Yeah.
Oh boy. I look forward to
Hell
watching
yeah.
that because that is definitely on my watch list. How was your exploitation
Pretty
pick? I
decent.
had to do some digging for
Yeah.
the
I
genres.
was on
I
a
had no idea
I
what.
was on a Brian Brown kick as an actor, and so I chose Money Movers from 1978, and
Mhm.
it was just a good excuse to watch more of his films. It's a simple heist movie. It's not there's really nothing remarkable about it, but it's enjoyable. I had a really fun time. The location footage is what really made it a lot of
Okay.
fun. So the
Good.
next category is gonna go not as well. So
I know exactly.
so what do
I
you
know you don't have to.
and
I know exactly what you watched. It's the beach. The beach. The beach.
oh why
I watched I watched Fulci's Zombie
for the first time,
because for my
wonderful
first
choice.
yes, of course. Yes, of course it was the first time. Another one where I didn't understand what was going on, but I had a lot of fun. And I loved it. And of course, the zoom ins that he does are perfect. The gore, the eye scene, just it's not my favorite Fulci, but I liked this a lot. So if you have
Outstanding.
not seen it for some reason, please go fix that. How did you
I
fare?
chose a Mark and John Polonia film, which, if you recognize the last name, they're
Uh,
really special. Not
oh
for
no.
everyone. Splatter Beach, 2007, and I mostly chose it just trying toward some completionism of Aaron Brown's work, which she was a Misty Monday. Aaron Brown was a fairly prominent early
Yes.
2000s shot on video indie
Yes.
talent. But the Polonia films they're their own genre. Um,
Unfortunately, yes, they
yeah.
are.
So
And we have to tolerate them.
I mean, when the slogan is date, mate, and mutilate, well, they
You're stealing from Art of Reanimator. You can't
I
do that.
know. So
Date, mate, reanimate.
yeah.
That's how it works.
It's
Guys.
trashy fun and the music is better than what the film like actually is. So that's a thing when the music is so great over top of an okay film. It's like, damn, all right, well, this is working out better. So yeah, it's a hit or miss for anybody. If you've not seen any of the Polonia films, they're special and can be pretty fun. You have to be in good headspace to go down that path.
We have our next free space. It's also my birthday. So I was like, I don't want to ruin. This is like one free spaces are great because those are like days you can just sit to yourself and say, all right, I'm gonna try not to ruin my day. So I watched Shiver of the Vampires, which is not my favorite pick, but it was another recommendation from quite some time ago. Very good. I don't know how to digest this. That might be good. That might be how it's supposed
Yeah,
to
Roland
be.
films in general
Yeah.
they have their own space, and
Yes.
this is my personal favorite Roland
Okay.
film as well. Uh, yeah, for it's just a beautiful film. I think it's almost
Yes.
perfect. I give it a 4-star rating, which, as you know, my cheap ass rarely gives out anything above a 3. So
Never. Never.
it's hallowed ground.
You have the weirdest reading system.
I do. For
You
anybody that
really do.
doesn't know me, I go on the lean side of things, which is like a passable film is probably two, two and a half. Three is that I enjoy
Passable.
it. I had like some enjoyment, and that's fine. And then
You don't want to kill
that
yourself.
4-star, 5-star kind of stuff, it has to actually change how I view film in general. If I see something I've never seen before and enjoyed it, or the director has such a style that feels important, and as
Hmm.
watching Roland films do, you very quickly there's a appreciation for what he's doing that other folks didn't. And late stage to he's a latter um, appreciation for his work in a little bit more like serious context, because for many years he was kind of made fun of, and he would often have to direct just by making a living, films that were adult films and so forth. So it was
Yeah.
kind of maligned unfairly. Yeah, what a wonderful pick for a free
This was a
space.
banger. Yeah. I think I know. It was my first R'Lon. So I don't like saying I look forward to seeing what else is out there, but I do.
I think you'll
'Cause
have a
I know
great
I
time with
feel like it's
those.
yeah. It's just psychedelic rock and roll and lesbianism with vampires.
Oh,
What
the
more could you
costumes
want?
are amazing, and the side characters,
Yes.
the smaller characters, I suppose, in the movie that are hanging around are a blast. It
They're so so fun. It's wonderful. It's fucking great. How did you do?
I chose The Toilets Were Closed from the Inside from 1976, directed by Patrice Leconte. I, cho-
I'm going back to that.
I chose this because I had watched a film called So Long Stooge, which is like an absolutely like must see important film. I'll say, and it has this actor named Coluche. We don't get like the last name; he's just Coluche, as far as I know. So that's cool. It's like a Sting kind of factor of self importance, but he's just this squatty little weirdo, and it's a buddy cop movie at the end of the day, but it has a lot of heart, and it doesn't ask too much of the viewer to just dive into a small caper. And I gave it a 3.5 star rating. I had a really nice
Okay.
time. Yeah, after the
Okay.
Splatter Beach Polonia
It's
stuff,
more than what the title promises, perhaps.
the title is so crazy that again,
Okay.
the novelty factor was part of it, but it was mostly for Kalush. So
Okay. That's fine.
Bruce
That's fine.
exploitation. Oh
Yes, day
my.
16, Bruce Exploitation. Yeah. All right. I made my brother watch part of this with me. So, because that's the kind of family we are. Fist of Fury from 1972. Again, I'm not into kung fu movies. I'm just not. I know there's political stuff behind this movie, right? Because it's got like, because like the Japanese are kind of villainous and like douchebags in this. But Bruce Lee is cool as fuck. And like the sets all look really nice. So it was interesting. It kept me in for, its runtime, but it wasn't. Not for me. I didn't hate it. It was fine.
That's a good pick. Bruce Lee's captivating on the screen. And
Yes, he's amazing.
so for my
How did you
choice, I chose Bruce Lee in New Guinea, 1978, and it's Bruce Lie. It's not Bruce Lee. So this is the
It's a
it is a
farce.
farce. This is a fraud of a film of sorts.
We're used to frauds here.
I
It's
mean,
okay.
yeah, what are you gonna do? It's yeah, it's hand-to-hand combat in the jungle. The most redeeming quality of the film was that he fights a gorilla, and I kind of
Like for real?
no. I mean that's
Okay.
no. I wouldn't want a gorilla to destroy somebody. No, just a man in
I
a gorilla
would.
suit, and
Okay, that's
yeah, that was good fun. It's available on YouTube. Moving on.
day 17, the annual Fulci Day.
Double Fulci month
Because it
for
is
you.
filled.
You had
I've
two.
watched two movies. The annual Fulci Day because it is his birthday. So I watched City of the Living Dead, which was another movie I cannot explain to anyone. But I'm convinced, like, there were times I would like look down at my laptop and be like, what the fuck? Like, this is
It
incredible.
is. Yeah.
It made me late to work.
Oh yeah, it'll stick with you. It's the kind of
Like,
thing
I had to
you
stop what I was doing for a few minutes and be like, yo, what's this? So I'm assuming because I've never rewatched any of his movies. So I'm assuming it just gets better when you
it
rewatch.
does.
Am
It
I
just had
correct?
a huge like
Okay, good.
re-release. And Sam Deegan
It
was
did.
on commentary for it as well, which is perfect for Sam. It's like,
We love you,
yep. And
Sam.
that I told her I was like, this is the get like of a lifetime. to be able to
Yeah.
do proud to Lucio on this. And yeah, it's a very it's hard. I rate it really as my favorite and best film he's ever made. And there's a lot to
Okay.
compete with that, frankly. Everybody
There
has
is,
different,
because like
you know.
everyone has their different picks. I would. This is about the same because I. Now, granted, I've seen maybe 3 movies of his, but I guess like I mean, I guess the other comparable thing for me would be House by the Cemetery,
Sure.
because that was another one I had a lot of fun with.
Yeah,
So
they're both up there and amazing films.
yeah, what did you
I
pick?
picked The Demonic Womanizer from 1975, also referred to as Dracula in the Provinces. And this is obscure. This is not Lucio at his top of his game. It's a horror
Yeah.
comedy, but you've got
Really?
Sylvia Koskinen in it, and she's great.
Okay.
But this is the edges of the barrel to scrape for Fulci completionism. Stephen Thrower's book on Lucio Fulci, amazing. It will protect you from bullets. Gigantic
Yes.
heroic thing. I've seen most of Fulci's work, so this one was kind of weird because I was a little surprised that
That's the problem with that. That's like that is the one thing about Fulci Day is like at some point you do run out of his films.
they're light fun. Uh, but because
Yeah, I
because
know
he
that's a
didn't
big.
have tons and tons of films, of course, like anything, you start to run out a little bit.
It's not just Franco where there's like a ton of
Yeah,
shit.
he didn't make 250 movies in 5 different countries,
Yeah.
so we just
So, but
take what
like
we have.
no
No,
disrespect,
no,
of
no,
course.
no.
We all have growing
Yeah,
pains. He's wonderful.
and this,
So
yeah,
hopefully I
you can watch this on the YouTubes. So there you go,
shut the fuck up.
demonic womanizer, which is a terrible title.
It's
Dracula in
horrible.
the Provinces, and then you even wondered, like, can we post this image on Instagram
I asked you. I was like, can I post
because
this? Like, am I gonna get
it's like
like
some random dude with a knife in the ass kind of thing. It's really odd.
he's like
Is that
yeah, it's like it's not good.
no, no.
Not good. I was like, I like asked you. I was like, I better be able to post this, and like Instagram won't like beat the shit out of me for posting like some woman bent over with this.
I mean, it was the artwork, so I mean, at least it wasn't
I
some like a
know,
still imagery.
I know, it's artwork, but like, come on. So next up is Gangsters. This is where I watch Schlamos, the Austrian movie that you watched for free space with Baby
Hell yeah.
Udo. This was a because okay, I've had enough bad experiences with this man that I don't like. I've just started walking into stuff not expecting much. You know, that's kind of where I am right now. This was really good. It's not the you like you said. It's not the greatest thing ever. You know, it's just a prostitute dies and her father teams up with the underworld to find out who killed her. I would honestly argue I can't tell if it's because it's in character or not, but I would honestly argue Udo is one of the weaker points in this movie because he's so like straight faced the entire time, like no emotion.
Hmm.
Like I can't tell if that's just because he's like really early in his career or if he's like or if it's like his character's just a sociopath
Yeah, you don't know if he's
because he's playing like
horrified.
this up and coming. He's playing like this up and coming criminal. So it's this is really if you can find it, this is really
It's
good.
a great performance of his.
And it's like keeps you hooked in. You know, again, another one that I think it's like 78 minutes. Doesn't overstay its welcome. And then I believe, if I remember correctly, there is a character named Kowalski. And I thought it was funny because it reminded me of the penguins of Madagascar. Because I think one of them is named Kowalski or something similar. So
Nice.
I had that image in my head. I had the meme of the four of them dancing anytime that was brought up. So yeah, if you can find it, definitely worth a watch. Hopefully you don't have to go on a Noodle Hopefully you don't have to go on Noodle Magazine or anything. I hate that I know that site, but I have an ad blocker, so
There you have it.
all right. How did you do?
I chose Black Tight Killers from 1966.
Slay.
It's a it's so much fun.
So much
Radiance
fun.
is a boutique label, know exactly what they're doing, and this is one that delivers everything. It's probably one of the best films. It's maybe one of the best I've seen this year. It's up there. So yeah, I don't know. Radiance just knows what they're doing um, to pick titles recently, and I'm here for it. It's yeah,
Yeah, I didn't love it, but it was fun. I liked it.
anything that's like kind of has like stylish spy spoof
It's
components.
very
I'm like, hell
stylish.
yeah. It reminded me in some way of like Modesty Blaze and Mario Bava's Danger Diabolic. Like, I just love what I'm
Yes.
getting into. I don't know that I'm going to catch everything. Um, but
Hmm.
yeah, I had a wonderful
It's
time
so
with that.
good.
And it was a 4-star film. So, hey,
Ooh.
there's some 4 stars that did show up this month. The yeah, next category, well,
80s
80s
horror.
horror.
Perfect. Amazing. Slugs. Because taking a class that focused a lot of on a lot of invertebrates wasn't enough for me. I had to watch a horror movie about slugs. This ends up becoming towards the end. This becomes an issue of civil engineering because they're in the water supply. However, this was good. Like you don't. This is one of those B movies that I didn't expect shit from,
It's extremely
but it was a
gory.
lot of
Like,
fun.
I had moments of hard
Yeah,
time watching this where
it
I
really
started looking
is.
away. It was like, I think it's too
I
much.
sent the link to my friends, but like I had to spoiler it because like I think like the letterboxd image is some guy's face getting eaten alive and it's all bloody, and I was like, all right, I can't just have this. It's yeah, really fine. I'm hoping the local film club. I had texted the guy who runs it, and I was just like, yo, if he has a hard copy of it, and I was like, yo, you need to get on this,
Sure.
like show this shit. So very good, highly recommend if you have not seen
For my pick, I chose Rejuvenatrix from 1988. And
the
it's the
Rejuvenator.
serum of like restoration of youth, and then they turn into a monster, and there's special effects.
Oh
It's laughably
no.
bad. This is I
Really?
enjoyed it, but it's dodgy as hell to really give it praise.
Okay.
Now, the director also did Posed for Murder, and that's really the film to watch from Brian Thomas Jones. So it's like,
Okay.
if you're up there, Posed for Murder, much better film. This was fine. It was all right. 80s horror, it's a huge genre. It's probably
It
40%
is.
of what I actually enjoy watching at any given day. So I was like, I'm just going to step out of some comfort zone. The title is oddball enough. So
The Rejuvenator, I think, is what it
the
also was.
Rejuvenator, yeah.
I'm like, all right, don't be ripping on my Bo Herbert West.
Well, you're in
Don't
better
be
space with
don't come
that,
him.
not
Yes, that's
Rejuvenatrix.
my safe. That man is my safe
That's
space.
right.
Okay, very clear. All right. I mean, I watched Foxy Brown for this.
You picked a good one.
Pam Grier is
Yeah,
perfect, and I will not be elaborating further.
yeah.
I've only seen I've only again, shame on me for only having seen her in a couple of things. That being Coffee, which is like made by the same director the year before, similar concept. I've also saw her in Class of 1999 as one of the robots. So that tells you what kind of human I am. If it's a just another basic thing of Pam Grier being a bad bitch and fucking up dudes, I'm here for it.
Well, for this category, I chose Black Samurai, which is an Al Adamson film, which there's a box set from Severin that did Al Adamson, and his life story and like the documentary about his life is fantastic because it's so insane of a guy sort of taking on his life and then murdering him. So it's bonkers. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
it's really crazy. The Adamson stuff is super hit and miss, and it's mostly a miss for me, but But Black Samurai has Jim Kelly, and his performance is wonderful. So he's a lot of fun to watch. He's really good on screen. The film itself's not great, kind of an acquired taste. Yeah, for the
Really?
Severance stuff, I'm much more the Andy Milligan kind of fan than Al Adamson.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
I need the snark. I need the
That's the
snark.
shit.
Yeah, I need that snark dialogue. I need certain basic needs. But
Yes.
yeah, Black Samurai is pretty fun. You know,
It sounds like a
I
lot
had a
of
good
fun.
time. Yeah, not bad at all.
Okay.
What did you pick for AIP? That's what I want to know. I'm looking now. Moving on.
Frogs.
Is that the title?
So we
Just
go from
frogs.
slugs to frogs. This is the most talky nature's revenge movie that's probably out
Oh,
there.
I might like this. There's grumpy, physically
It's
disabled
good. It's
millionaires. Oh, I
yes.
might really enjoy this
Yes.
one.
This is dumb as shit, but it's fun. Yeah, the first half is just a lot of talking and nature porn. But just remember, if you hate nature, if you disrespect it, you can die quicker. You die easier. I'm just saying. I think I think watching this alone probably wasn't the most amazing thing. I think as like a group watch,
Okay.
it would be a lot better because there's just a lot of like, I mean, it's just a stereotypical animals attack movie. Yeah, I recommend it. I personally recommend
Nice.
it,
I
but
I'm
it's not very
That's
good.
okay. I still want to see it. I mean, you're
I
the
know.
plot premise and then the talky stuff that you're mentioning.
Yeah, because I like when you promise me, I'm the person I'm like, if you promise me the concept of frogs killing people, I'm gonna be like, all right, I want to see frogs killing people for a good majority of the movie, and that's not what happens here. Other animals kill people, but frogs don't always kill people.
Interesting.
There's just a lot of menacing shots of frogs and toads and whatever else is in the fucking Florida swamps because that's where this is shot. There is a guy who wrestles a gator though, for real.
That's
Like
fun.
there, like an actual gator.
I mean, it's
So
risky. Strange practice.
yeah, I didn't grow up in the swamp, but I know that shit. You don't mess with that. So I recommend this. Also, it's a good July 4th movie because that's when it takes place around that.
Nice.
So I recommend it. I know what you picked for this, and I'm not happy with you
Are
at
you
all.
ready? Okay, so
Yeah,
it's AIP, and they did distribution on Carry On Camping.
you have to explain this.
Okay, I
You
could
have to
talk for
explain
days,
this.
but my
I
obsession of
don't
the Carry
care.
On films is the whole franchise because it's like record setting of the 31 films they did for this bullshit. This movie's it's hot as hell. Do yourself a favor. It's like have a laugh with Kenneth Williams. The whole cast is amazing.
What do you mean hot as hell?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Like sweaty?
I'm just it's like physically like it's camping. It's they're kind of miserable. And so there's not a I don't I
These are British people camping. I don't think they know what hot as hell
it's
is, no matter what they insist.
yeah, you're I mean, you're not wrong on that. And this is like the second popular in the franchise. So everybody like
That's
yeah,
right.
so
Yeah.
because it's just so over the top and the camping premise. Now, I love Carry On Screaming because it's horror
Yes.
comedy.
That movie's
That's
so fun.
family kind of near perfect.
I have not seen much Carry On. I've escaped most of that, but it
Yeah,
is, yeah, Carry On Screaming.
so
Perfect,
fun.
cheesy. Yes.
But yes, it's July, which means we're prepping for Halloween. Right now, Michael's Crafts and Home Goods are stocking new items. So, I mean, buy now or face future regret is really what I have to.
Yeah, or be drowned by Christmas.
It's true. Who wants that?
I don't want to talk about
No.
it. I don't want to talk about it. I work retail. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, it's
2000s action. Okay. This is such a random category. Because most people I know, like in our little circle, most of us aren't like big fans of 2000s action. I'm not.
no.
I don't like things from the
Those were the
2000s.
dark times. We focused on other decades.
Yeah, objectively, yes. So, unfortunately, I think we guided most of our. I think we had to tell a lot of people if you haven't seen it, watch Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter. You won't regret it. It's a perfect movie. But because I've seen that movie literally 3 times within the past 6 months, I decided to watch Vampire Assassin from 2005.
Bless you.
One of the few films I have logged on to Letterboxd and seen that Nathan has given it 5 stars, and that you gave it half a star.
Deservedly. that half star was only for Rudy Ray Moore, because we love him and we respect him and what he's done. The rest of this,
Sam just released an episode on
yeah,
that.
this film can really burn, and I mean hot. It's
I don't think I hated it that much. I didn't know what was going on most of the time because it's pretty
yeah,
incoherent.
that's fair.
However, I did note that it looked like a Forensic Files reenactment. And I love Blade.
Sure.
Like, that movie, yeah, it has Udo Kier in it. I think when I first saw it, I don't give a shit. Wesley Snipes, I want him under my Christmas tree. You know, everyone is amazing in it. There's some really dumb shit in that movie. You know, you have the 1998 CGI. I love it. This movie is not that.
No.
It is, again, this is just something like, I would dare to say this does go into so bad it's good territory, and that like with the right crowd, you'd be able to enjoy this.
I mean, clearly Ron Hall went on to make many, many more films after Vampire Assassin. This is a springboard of
You see my face.
No, that's right. This is his only film. This is a one-time investment in Vampire. Bless him.
Bless him.
Oh.
How did you cope?
I did a little better than I had expected.
Okay, that's all
Yeah, I chose us. I chose Strip and Run, otherwise known as The Thief and the Stripper from 2000. It's hot garbage, but it has all the elements of a recipe that I would enjoy. So because of the actors, so you've got Michael Madsen, Charles Napier as well, Brian James from a lot of things, but Blade Runner, of course, Martin Cove. Well, Martin's been in a lot of action films, although most folks would probably know him from the Karate Kid franchise, and it's got Todd Bridges, so that's a really odd choice too. But it's like mafia cornball.
This is disappointing.
Oh yeah, yeah. They don't even mention Robert Zadar is in it. He had like a form of kind of giantism, I guess, along those lines, genetic issues. So he's really amazing in a way, physically. And yeah, the music's hysterical, the dialogue's terrible. There's worse movies. I gave it 2 stars. It was fun enough. It was fun.
I gave mine 1 star. So
that's
another one of my lower rated. I think 100 Years is still weird. I still think 100 Years is worse.
That's okay. Yeah, I see that.
I still fully believe that because I was at least like, I would at least turn and like look and like something dumb I would just like laugh my ass off. Okay?
Sure.
I had fun. But it's not good. It's not good.
No. Sometimes you just need fodder.
It's
the
not
fun
good.
fodder stuff, you know, what you're getting into.
Yeah, it's so bad it's good, but like not the type you sarcastically unironically give 5 stars. So, next free space. Cannibal Man.
Hell yeah.
From our boy Lloyd de la Iglesia.
Mr. Iglesia, he's coming back in a big way.
I
sort of
was like this is the part of the month I was getting swamped, and I was like, I'm just gonna put this as my free space. Because it was already on my watch list. I was like, why not? Buddy, what porn? I think we talked a little bit about this Neil Pico episode. Buddy, what porn are you trying to make?
It's not
between murder and gay.
Yeah, which makes it fantastic.
What's going on?
There's not cannibalism, so the Cannibal Man thing. I like.
There's very little of
week
it.
Of the Week of the Killer.
There's very little.
That's a great title.
I think that's a better title.
It is.
I think that's a much better title.
But hey, that's like a small gripe. I mean, this is another hot, sweaty movie where everybody's just exhausted. There's
It
no damn
is.
air conditioning in any spot anywhere. And it's, yeah, one murder leads to many more. And
Yeah. And you're hiding it in a fucking room and you're making sure no one else sees it, all while there's a guy who's developing feelings for you across the street and spying on you. And there's a lot of
oh,
tension.
yeah, there sure is.
There's a lot of
Hmm.
tension. It's so fucking weird.
It's a weird one. It's one that you don't think.
It's so I like it. This is definitely, again, another one of my favorite picks. I don't know if I could confidently write on it, but uh, it was fun.
It
And I wasn't mad at it.
hard to say if
Like,
it's how rewatchable it is, but I think it's because you don't really want to rewatch it, but you want to understand it
I
more.
don't want to rewatch most of Eloy de la Iglesia,
That's
okay?
fine.
Do you want me to like put it those clear cut? I don't want to fucking rewatch a lot of his stuff after
We've been through it.
after some. We went through it, man. I
It's a
was like,
different experience. When we did Schlingensief, that was that was exhausting, but in a different way because of its intensity. Iglesia it sometimes can make you feel really not great about the plight.
you hate everyone, you hate yourself, you hate the world. That's it. That's it. It was not. What else do you want me to say about it? I mean, I would maybe in the future we could do an episode about it and we can like maybe when we're not like just brain dead, we
Yeah.
can like talk about it.
Yeah.
Or like Confessions of a Congressman because that one
Oh,
was I
that
like
was
that one. Again, unfortunately, that was the favorite.
yeah.
But what
Uh,
did you pick for your feasties?
oh, it's Italian. I'll tell you that much. So I chose
Why are you laughing?
Canimozzi or Sawed Off Shotgun, 1977.
Yo.
And it's from the
Yo.
director that did Like Rabid Dogs. So it's Polizio revenge stuff. It's got Antonio Sabato, the good one, not Junior. Um, he's the dad. You want to look up Antonio Sabato Jr., do it on your own time. Um, but his dad,
Oh my
I
god.
think nice guy by all accounts. Yeah, the plot's all batshit crazy with family feuds and mob violence. It hasn't had a Blu-ray release that I'm aware of, but it should happen. So yeah, Sawed Off
Okay.
Shotgun
Okay.
sells. I mean, that's a title right there.
It
Belongs in
is
a
a
box
title.
set somewhere. Arrow would probably do that. So yeah, it was a fun. That was a fun title that I had a
Okay,
nice
good.
time
I
with.
was like,
The next category?
okay.
No, no, not at all. So what did you choose for cars?
Christine.
That's a wonderful picture.
It's not a car person.
No, no. It's
There's not like again, this is another category. I'm like, why is this? I know they do it annually, and I'm every time I'm like, why is it here?
they're fun.
If I hadn't watched Titan earlier this year, I would have, or however you pronounce it. It's the French movie where the woman fucks the car and gets
That is
pregnant,
it.
and like there's a bunch of crazy shit in it. Okay, if I hadn't watched that earlier this year, I probably would have done it now. However, I watched Christine, John Carpenter, because I've never seen it, and I saw a replica of it in Gatlinburg at one of their museums.
Every car museum has to
That
have
was
a
pretty cool.
Christine vehicle. It's just the
It
rules.
does. I don't know if they have it up any. I don't know if they have it up anymore, but they had a lot of interesting stuff in the museum. So, regardless, um, besides the commentary on consumerism that could probably be made from both King's novel and this movie, um, Arnie fucked that car, and you can't convince me otherwise.
There's a lot of vehicular love in it, I suppose. One could read into that.
You see me say that with a straight face, okay? Like, you fucked that car. How did you do for
Not
cars?
great. Not great, but fun. I had fun. I chose a film called Fast Sofa with Jake Busey. It's got Jake Busey. It's got Eric Roberts,
That's right, this
Natasha
movie.
Lyonne, Adam Goldberg, Jennifer Tilly, Bijou Phillips, leaving.
Yeah,
It's
I saw like you sent me the poster for this to post, and I was like, "What is this
yeah.
cast?"
It doesn't even matter what the movie is, or I was like, I can't even I could care less about the plot. The plot's terrible at the end of the day. But surviving all of their individual monologues because they all are just craving that screen time so bad. Um, there's a pain enjoyment.
Everyone is,
Yeah, there it's a neurotic hot mess. I loved it. 2.5
but
stars.
that's me.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, had a
Okay.
nice time.
That's on you.
It's true, truly.
Oh
How did you
god.
do on this?
The next one is Vigilantes. My pick, so this day 25 is Vigilantes. And like in my book, all superhero movies are vigilante movies. Okay. No, I didn't watch a Zack Snyder. No, I did not watch Zack Snyder's Justice League. That I feel like that would be a waste of time. Um, I was originally gonna watch Batman Under the Red Hood, and then I went on Max and I found out they've just cleared house on a lot of their like DC animation, like which is like the whole reason I got it. Like, I mean, like some of the really classic, like Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, Justice League Unlimited, all that stuff is still there. They have all their live action, but they've cleared out a lot of the full length animated features. That kind of peeved me. So I did a little digging, some last minute changes, and like these are also like movies I didn't want to go find on like a sketchy site, you know, because they're like mainstream enough that I kind of wanted to keep my sanity and like my internet privileges. So I watched Superman Batman Apocalypse.
Nice.
This is
Yeah.
fine. I wrote a big long paragraph ranting about it because I am a former comic book fan. I guess I still kind of am if I'm watching this stuff and know the lore ish. This does not have enough Batman in it to warrant him in the
I
title.
see.
It has a great voice cast. All of it, you know, Kevin Conroy's Batman. Um, Ed Asner's
Oh,
in
that's
it.
fun.
Susan Eisenberg voices Wonder Woman. Tim Dolly voices Superman. Um, it's Supergirl's origin story, and like, if you know that, cool. It's just
Yeah.
that the animation, because this is from 2009, 15 years. It looks like it's from 2009. It hasn't aged well.
Yeah, that can
That's
happen.
kind of my only
That's
gripe. Yeah, yeah, because we're blessed with Batman the animated series,
true.
and that's like held up for 30 years for the most part. So, but this is fine. I mean, I wasn't mad at it.
Good.
I was just kind of like, okay. You can't come and fight me if you disagree that any superhero movie is a vigilante movie. You can come and fight me. Okay.
Okay.
The Justice League is just a bunch of super powered aliens that they're doing what the police can't do. That's all they're doing.
I think that's
How did you?
extrajudicial revenge or setting
Yes.
course correcting, perhaps.
Batman's
Yeah,
Revenge. I would have done like if there was like a decent Batman movie on there that wasn't like Mask of the Phantasm, which I've seen a million times.
true. So for Vigilantes,
Okay.
I chose A Dangerous Toy from 1979, directed by Giuliano Montaldo. This is a 3-star film all day long, probably actually deserves a 4, but this director was behind a movie called Closed Circuit, which is a bit of a masterpiece. He also did Sacco and
Have
Vanzetti,
I
and there's
have I seen Closed Circuit?
you may have. I mean,
Probably probably not. Let me look. Probably not.
it's one
Like
that's
it sounds like something you'd
it's
watch.
just yeah, it just came out on Blu-ray, and so it's
Now
starting
I
to
Googled
starting
it.
to get
Oh shit, this movie. Okay. I have not seen it, but it looks
but he
good.
also did this movie called Machine Gun McCain that I want to see really, really bad because it has it's got Luigi Pistilli is in it as well as John Cassavetes and Britt Eklund, and like weirdly Peter Falk of Columbo is in it, and it's
Yo.
like a mafia crime film. Looks cool as hell. But anyway, Dangerous Toy, really good stuff. The main character has these like weird abilities to turn into basically like a sharpshooter. Like he doesn't fully realize that, oh, that's what his calling is. So He's sort of like a milquetoast bureaucrat. Uh, I don't want to say like not
Interesting.
John Wick level anything like that, but it's a tense
Oh,
revenge
no.
film.
Don't touch John Wick.
So it's
You don't touch him.
no. I mean, John Wick's in its own Keanu special
Mm-mm.
place, but he always had the ability and kind of was the character. Where this guy, you're just like, this guy pushes a lot of paper all day long, and then all of a sudden uh, he's hitting the bullseyes. So
That's like seeing Republic. That was like seeing George Santos go from being like a shitty congressman to a drag queen.
I mean, you really always
No,
prefer
I'm
the
not.
drag queen to the
I'm not.
but
I'm still not kidding.
uh
You know I'm
yeah,
not.
he's a walking TV movie that I don't know
A
who's
hot
buying the
mess.
rights to that, but
Someone
somebody
is.
is for sure.
Free
Yay.
space. Last free space for the month. I did this upon recommendation from my younger brother because he watched it and thought it was really good.
He's not wrong.
I watched Bloodsport
Yay. Yeah.
with Jean-Claude Van Damme, the inspiration for Johnny Cage.
It's so much
This
fun.
is so this is so it's so fun. It's so fucking stupid, but it's so fun.
It's like a martial arts Revenge of the Nerds. You just root for everybody. It's all going to be
Yeah,
good.
it's a giant stereotype. It's a giant 80s action movie stereotype, and I love it. I mean, it's total bullshit, but it's fine.
Mhm.
So, yeah, not much else to say.
So for my free space, I just phoned it in pretty much because we watched earlier in the month City of Lost Souls.
Yeah.
And I was like,
we
I'm going to include this. I really enjoyed that film. And we talked about it.
I saw that on your list and I wanted to
Well,
slap
hey,
you.
it's we talked for 2 hours
I
on that
know.
strange.
We already it's like we have an episode. We're not going to talk about it. We have an episode on it.
Who did you choose for Barbara Steele? That I'm curious.
Who? Who? I chose Barbara Steele for Barbara
Okay,
Steele,
well,
motherfucker.
you know what I mean. What did you pick for her?
I picked Roger Corman's The Pit and the Pendulum. I can't tell you what happened in this movie, but it's Vincent Price and he's perfect and evil and wonderful and I love him.
Corman Poe
He's in a
cycle,
totally
you know.
different Yeah, he's in a totally different movie than literally everyone else, but it's incredible. I mean, of course, I think I don't know, the highlight for this for me was the set pieces.
Oh, they're just the best. Through those 3
They're
films,
wonderful. And the
you just
costume.
want to stay in that
Yeah.
gothic
So, yeah. Just another unfortunate point of I wasn't paying attention, but this is fun and
they're
fine.
such wonderful movies. They were
So, yeah.
originally pushed out under like a midnight movie sort of series, and that kind of
Yeah.
um got into everybody's collections and all that kind of stuff. They're just so lovable. All 3 are perfect in their own way and comfort food by far. Well,
So,
I
all
chose
right.
Terror Creatures from the Grave, 1965, Massimo Papio, and he was the kind of the brains behind Bloody Pit of Horror, as well as Lady Morgan's Vengeance. So those are like 2 totally wonderful stunner films. He also did a Django film as Django Kills Softly, which is fine. There's a lot of the whole Django adjacent stuff and everything. We did it one December for a Django December, and it was challenging. There was fun, but you know, 30 plus Django movies, it's just too much. But Barbara
It's a
Steele
lot.
was great in this, as you would expect, because her whole body of work is like front loaded with exceptional, lovely stuff.
It really is.
I mean, and her within horror is always the fit.
Specifically, yes.
I really enjoy her non-horror films, as just because I want to see that range of her acting, which is nice. But yeah, this is just gothic horror sets, castle drama. There's a little bit of gore, and Babs runs the show, and none of the other cast members are really stand out, or
No one
nah,
else
they don't get
cares.
in her way at all, which is really the Barbara Steele way, is stay the hell out and let her do her thing, because that's the indulgence that everybody's there for. Yeah, available on YouTube. Westerns. Oh my.
Westerns. I'm not even kidding. I had, like, out of my 900 plus movies I have on my watch list, I had, like, 9 Westerns.
Well, you chose a really
So,
exceptional one from what I understand.
I
Moving stuff, like serious.
I saw this was in, like, technically a Western, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm watching this." I've been meaning to. It's called Bacurau from 2019, so very recent. There's not much you can say about this movie without spoiling it. I posted a clip recently on my Instagram that was like, "This is what I get to do for the podcast," and it's just me, like, totally gagged. You do get some late era Udo Kier. That's the only tip off I'll give you, and that explains why it even ended up on my watch list. It encompasses a lot of genres, and like it goes a lot of. It's not shocking, but it goes a lot of places you don't expect.
Interesting.
And if I sound vague, that's good. That is very good because I don't know how to explain this without being like spoiler. So go watch if you can find it. Go watch it.
All right. So for my pick,
So
I chose an acid western called Greaser's Palace
yay!
from 1972, directed by Robert Downey Sr. And really, it's one I think Erica from Unsung Horrors and I both similarly just cannot really with the film. Although there's these cool allegories and parables of like the life of Christ in New Mexico, which has that's kind of interesting. The actors didn't do much for me, unfortunately, but yeah, and it should because you have like Tony Basil from kind of the Mickey song fame and Hervé Villachet. I don't need to really say more than that. Uh,
No, you don't.
yeah,
No,
yeah. The
you had
one
me
of the
after. You had me at
yeah, I
no
knew
matter
it was not
how
going to be good.
many.
With the tagline being, "He's got the boogie in his fingers and the hubba hubba in his soul." And I
Go
actually,
away.
you know
I
what I
hate
wrote down? I said, "Parker says I hate it here," and I would agree.
it.
That's my notes. There's sparks of charm, like in little spots within this movie, but uh
That yeah, that is so that is
yeah, I'd
awful.
rather watch it. There's a film called Hysterical with Bud Cort, and that's a really great, like, deep cut, fun gem and entertaining. But yeah, Greaser's Palace. You know, I
Don't.
put me here. Is all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, you
That's
did.
all.
You did put you
So
here. I'm so glad you
yeah.
recognized that. Yeah.
Next up, we have New Horizons. Uh,
God damn it, I did not know what to pick for this. Chose Brain Dead, not the Australian zombie movie directed by Peter Jackson. The 1990 movie that stars both Bill Paxton and Bill Pullman.
and Bud Cort.
The only
Bud Cort's
notes.
in this. I'll watch it for Bud. That's amazing.
Oh, it's good.
Okay.
No, I actually like this. Is actually like it was kind of pleasantly
Okay.
surprised because like I kind of the bar was
Sure.
low,
Sure.
right? At this point, the bar's kind of low. No, all I wrote in my notes was I love watching Lone Star lose his fucking mind. Cause it's a mind fuck. It's shockingly
Oh, really?
psychological.
Huh.
It's kind of a mind fuck, just plot and timeline wise. Bill Pullman is playing like this brain surgeon who's like hired by this like evil corporation to get some data out of this guy's brain, make him remember. So Bill Paxton's kind of the bad guy here, bless his soul. But it's if you've seen, I like it's on Prime. If you, I like that it hasn't been remastered, you know, because it has like this or like this late 80s, early 90s griminess that like I really liked.
Fun.
So it doesn't make sense all the time, but that's okay. It was fun. I feel like you picked something stupid as shit
I
for
did.
this.
I went for
Okay.
apocalyptic silliness.
Okay.
So I chose Wheels of Fire from 1985,
That's
directed
right.
by Sirio
That's right. You
Santiago.
did.
And I just have to say, this director, he did so many exploitation films, it's ridiculous. So I'm just gonna like list off a few because these are the ones that are like you really should watch them. He did The Mothers,
Okay.
Vampire Hookers, TNT Jackson, Death Force, The Firecracker films,
Shit, I
yeah,
might.
Naked Violence, and Killzone. So it's it's
Yay! I love
yeah,
violence.
it's Mad Max esque. 81 minutes of fun. There's nothing important, and it's yeah. I listed this as having basic bitch energy that has little to no overgrown egos to get into the way. So yeah, futuristic
Well,
fodder available on YouTube. Yay, 3 stars.
yay! All right. So our final category is slashers.
You picked a good film.
A big hit
Yeah,
and
I
miss.
think you did all right on this. You did
I did.
well. Did very
I
well.
did good on this. I did good. Tourist Trap from 1979. Holy shit! I like look down because I think I had just gotten a copy of Erica's book, and I would like look up when this is playing and just be like, "What the fuck? This is a creepy fucking
Hmm.
movie." Like, don't get it twisted. Like that PG. I mean, I know like 1970s PG ratings don't mean shit. We're lucky Texas Chainsaw did not get a PG rating. This totally did not deserve one either.
Yeah, that's mortifying. That young,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, it's a big. I'm surprised it's not mentioned more. Um, I already don't like mannequins, but again, another movie that is does not promise anything other than what it is. It has a very good score. You can like I'm convinced most of the budget went to that. Chuck Connors does this really good creepy job as like this hillbilly museum owner that just has a bunch of fucking mannequins around, and like I mean there is some legitimately like horrifying stuff in this that I was just like very upset by, but it's quite good. So it was a nice way to end the month.
Oh, you really you ended on a really high note.
Yes, I
And
did.
he did Crawl Space and Puppet Master, so I mean it's yeah, I think the director
Yeah,
did a really fine job, and
yeah, and it's Charlie Band produced, so
which yeah,
I
sometimes
believe
an acquired taste on it's
it.
just the
Yeah, his
scale.
stuff
I
is hit
mean,
and
it
miss
really there's so
too.
many films that
We know Charles Band is hit or miss
can
in
be
this
hit or
house.
miss for sure.
So, was your final
Oh, high and to
final
the
one?
right. Uh, you kind
Good.
of like different for sure. I chose Fatal Exposure from 1989, and I wasn't prepared for the sleazy side of it. And a lot of the like Bleeding Skull, for instance, thinks quite highly of it. The weirder portions of the movie um, were good fun, but it's a lot of like I call it protracted mundane banter. So the
Mhm.
plot just kind of needed to be a little bit more refined. I didn't hate it. It was good enough with some little yeah,
Okay,
there's some
that's good.
clever and like disgusting sequences that were okay. It's you know, this grandson of Jack the Ripper trope sort of thing, and oh, yeah. Yeah, it was all right. Like I said, I would have rather watched Tourist Trap because that's a superb film.
Most
Most
people
people
would.
would. So
Most people, the most sane people would. So that was
that's our
our month. Do you
Junesploitation.
have like a Do you have like a top five? Like kind of like a loose, maybe not a top five, but like a loose collection of favorites
Yeah.
just off the top
I
of your
mean,
head.
the Nashi film Death of a Hoodlum really surprised me. I thought I'd seen him in really most of his standard stuff, so that one stuck out and was kind of a blind spot. Strip and Run was so bizarre because sometimes it's just fun to escape with like five strange character actors in just a movie that's not trying to be too clever. So I had good fun. I was like, this is so dumb, but I
I
love
can't.
everybody here. So it's like if you love everybody that's on the screen, you can kind of tolerate you can tolerate quite a
Yeah, that's what it that's a good yeah, that tends to happen with bad movies with good
yeah.
people.
The biggest blind spot, of course, was A Virgin Among the Living Dead, the Jess Franco film, because
Yes.
it was a just criminal that I hadn't seen that previously. So that was by far my favorite because it's kind of closer
Interesting.
into the your your Roland pick with Shiver. So yeah, those were the that that
Yeah,
that stood out by far to me. How
yeah.
about you?
I think without getting, like, really stereotypical and basic, because I don't wanna just sit here and say Hellraiser was my favorite. I mean, Salon Kitty would be up there, that made me unfortunately, it has made me more excited for that particular genre.
Well, and your Vice,
Sorry.
that's just such a superb film.
Oh, perfect. That might be my favorite from the whole month, would be Your Vice. Tourist Trap, Shlamos, Macarao, those are kind of those are kind of my top picks from the month. But I mean, overall, I had a little work heavy, but it all went pretty well. It all kind of worked out.
I mean, not everything can be Mississippi River Sharks. So, or
Not
100
everything.
Tears.
Not everything.
So, you took some
Mhm.
risks by far
I did.
and really filled in a lot of impressively good films. Um,
Yeah, I have a ton of blind. Have you been listening long enough? Have you known me long enough? I have tons of blind spots. Trying to
however,
cover
yeah,
that
I
shit.
mean, like
Trying to cover
seeing
that
those
shit.
for the first time is just fantastic, and that's fun. That's the fun of discovery, really, is like we're all hunting and questing.
Exactly. Want to talk briefly about next episode? Next episode, we announced this in the El Pico towards the end of the El Pico episode, but next episode is Borovchek's The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Miss Osborne. If you know me, I will probably shoot you a YouTube link because it is on there. It's also an Arrow player, and they've done the physical. If you want to go out and purchase it for whatever reason, get all their good special features, whatnot, highly recommend. Also, do we want to announce the Discord?
Yes. So finally, we have a Discord set up. So it's private, but you just have to DM one of us.
DM the Instagram account or
Yeah.
DM one of us,
And
and
yeah,
we'll
it's
answer.
a
Find
nice
some
digital
Discord.
place for us to visit, talk films, and share lots of
Hang out.
good information, and hopefully,
Yeah, just a wide community of people, and there's some people already on there, just people that we've known for a while.
yeah,
So
yeah,
good
we have
vibes.
a lot of good
Good vibes.
crossover between other podcast and film folks and film club people
Yes.
and so forth. So we're going to
Yeah,
be doing that, and that'll be a a lot of fun.
it'll be fun. We're totally excited for it. You can follow the podcast on Where Is My Mind Podcast on Instagram. You can find me on Letterboxd and Instagram at parkit_be. You can find Ryan on Instagram and Letterboxd as Ryan_BMD. Like I said, next episode will be a little bit of not a Borovchik deep dive. Neither of us
It's
have
Udo
talked
Kier
about.
and Patrick McGee,
I hope.
though. It's so good. It's
Oh,
so
and
good.
Marina
Marina Pereira.
Piero. Oh, I'm fucking
Yeah.
here for it. I'm fucking here for it. You know it. But yeah, that our next episode is a little bit of a deep dive. Is a little bit of a dive on him and that film and analyzing it and trying not to recreate my high school English class. That's what this podcast has become. Until next time, we'll see
Take
y'all
care.
later.
Bye bye.